I'm here at Belfast Comic Con. I'm joined by Richard Hurd. Hello, how are you?
Now, what is your name again?
It's Andrew Adams.
Adam, well, yeah, how long have you been doing this?
Now for about 2 years now.
Oh, that's wonderful, man. I mean, yeah, how old are you?
I'm actually only 19.
It's like I'm interviewing you, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that now.
Well, anyway, I'm up here for several reasons. Number one, Brian Cooney, who's the promoter who's put this together. I've known him for over 20 years. As a matter of fact, the first convention I did in England, I did up at Brighton Beach. And Brian had put that together, and he invited me over from America. And then he invited me back when we did the entire cast. He invited the entire cast of Voyager over, and we came over, and I've done his Dockland show, Manchester, Birmingham. And when I first met him, they had just had their first child, Leah, who just turned 18. So we have a lot of family history, and we're friends, known each other. So he knew that my wife and I were traveling through here. Oh my gosh, there she is. That's my cousin, as a matter of fact, from Belfast. That's Helena Hurd. So that's one of the reasons we're passing, and Helen is here to see me. And my wife, this is James, and it's so great. Now, Helena has put together the entire, you know what you call it, the family tree. She knows all the background. I have relatives down in Newry, a lot of herds down there. And then the other side of the family, they're from Galway. And they're of Belgium and French and German. And it's a little town called Uachtarán. And they still make the ships, the little purags, fishing by hand. That means they have to steam the wood. And my cousin over there still does it. His name is Jimmy Mons, M-O-N-S. And I also I had a play. I co-wrote a play called Prisoner of the Crown about Roger Case. And it was the first play ever done at the Abbey Theatre by two Americans. So we were brought over here in 1972. And in America, you have to believe this, it's like a fairy tale. 40 years later, Karen and Charlotte over at the Irish Repertory Theatre Company in New York City produced it off Broadway. So that was kind of a miracle. I come here because I meet a lot of people I know. I meet a lot of the actors. I've done several films here in England starting years ago, and some of the guys I run into. And some of my friends came over here years ago and became landed immigrants and worked at the Royal Shakespeare Company and so forth and so on. And this is just from here. My wife and I are going to go over to Italy, spend about 4 or 5 days. Then we're going down to Morocco, 6 or 7 days. So that's a great adventure. We try to take a trip like that every year. But I've been quite busy. I just finished making the pilot with Walter Koenig and Robert Picardo and Tim Russ of a new Star Trek show called Star Trek Renegade. I've been recurring on a show in America called Rosalie and Isles, doing a bit of painting and writing and generally kind of backing away and just kind of enjoying my life. And I'm celebrating 60 years now as a professional actor. And we stopped on the way too in New York City. My son and daughter live in New York because I worked in New York 30 years. Then I have a stepdaughter in LA, my wife's daughter. And I'll be 82 in September.
82. You don't look a day.
My birth date there. I couldn't make up a story to you.
No, you don't look a day over 40.
Now, any other questions you have, I'd be happy to answer.
So what do you actually think? What's your impressions of Northern Ireland when you come here? Is it, the weather at times cannot be the greatest?
No, that doesn't bother me. Being from New England, as a matter of fact, there's a lot of problem in California. They're facing a big drought. But where my son is, he has rain barrels, and he's got a small farm up in Elmira, New York. I like overcast. I like rain. I like dealing with the Irish people. I've been brought up in a very heavily Irish community when I was a kid, and the language was still spoken. I was brought up in the south end of Boston. I was brought up in South Boston, and a lot of the people still spoke the Irish. I like it. I like being here. Also, there are parts of this country where you get away from the cities, it's peaceful and quiet, and there's a great beauty in Ireland, both the north and the south. So it's good to be here.
So, out of all your acting career, what would be your favourite performance you've ever done, or favourite character you've ever played?
Well, in the theatre, my wife and I, Patricia, we did The Death of a Salesman play. On television, with Scott Bakula, I played a character on Quantum Leap called Captain Galaxy, who was a very sweet, kind of caring guy, and I enjoyed doing that. And a motion picture film didn't do too well at the box office, but I really enjoyed doing it. It's called FIST, which means the Federation of Interstate Truck, and it was a film that I did with Stallone and Ryan Dennehy and Peter Boyle, directed by a very fine director. Matter of fact, Canadian director, Norman Jewison. But, you know, I still enjoy the business. I don't do theater as much anymore because it's 8 performances a week. I really have to have a burning desire. And I'll do a film or a TV thing if I like the part. Otherwise, you know, thank God I've been fortunate and I'm very grateful. What about yourself? What are your plans?
Oh, my plans are hopefully to get myself into the radio more, like working for the BBC, UTV, but it's just, I'm actually part of the community radio station.
You have a BBC right here in town.
Yeah, I know, it's very hard to get in.
Sure. But you know, the more you do, and the more of these interviews are heard or shown around, it helps your resume.
Yeah.
The people like the people that you've interviewed, it's going to help you.
Like yourself, because
I wish you every great success.
Thank you very much for your time.
Great working with you, talking with you.
Well,
I did most of the talking.
No, well, hopefully one day. So maybe we can make a film one day. Maybe.
Yeah, do whatever. The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Exactly. Thanks for your time. Cheers.